Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am the Southern Wrestling Scholar ZJ Pierce. I am the host of the Nerdz Watching Wrasslin Podcast, and I am here with another quick react. This is where I give you a quick review and reaction of insert wrestling show here, just in case you missed it for whatever reason or want an outside opinion. And today we are covering the January 24th episode of Saturday night's main event. This was a very good show with a lot of Royal Rumble implications. So if you're ready to get into it, tag me in. All right, so boom. The night started with what was supposed to be a match between Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Unfortunately, this match never took place because during Cody's whole opening pyro sequence, Jacob Fatu went ahead and got the jump on him, which led to a huge arena brawl. They brawled all throughout the crowd. They brawled into the concessions area with Jacob Fatu even putting Cody Rhodes through a concessions table. No one could get those men apart. It even got to a point where security tried to interfere and Cody and Fatu chucked security through a table. This led to the undisputed WWE champion Drew McIntyre getting involved in putting both Jacob Fatu through a table and low blowing and powerbombing Cody Rhodes through a table. This is a very good segment, and this also drives home the point that Drew McIntyre claims his innocence on Jacob Fatu, as well as reiterating to Cody that there is no rematch for the title. You both have to win the Royal Rumble if you want a piece of me. This was some very good stuff. I am a little disappointed we didn't get the match, but like I said, the fight was amazing, a lot of high tensions, and the story can obviously build from there. Next, we had the Women's Tag Team Championships on the line as our champions Rhea Ripley and Io Sky took on the Judgment Day's Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan. This was a very good match indeed, especially with the athletes involved. Roxanne Perez and Io Shirai are top-notch women's athletes. I really can't wait for Roxanne to break out on her own. Rhea Ripley playing a dominating force that she always does, and Liv Morgan always finding a way to get out of whatever the babyfaces had going on. And there were a lot of great near falls, including when Io Shirai hit the moonsault on Liv Morgan, with Rhea Ripley trying to keep outside interference away. This led to Raquel Rodriguez attacking Rhea Ripley and knocking the referee out in the process. Now, while Raquel was trying to attack Io Sky, this brought out the WWE Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer, who evened the odds against Raquel after multiple weeks of attacks. Stephanie Vaquer was no longer in her leg boot, so this was a lot of great fun. We did get some really good back and forth action, including a very close near fall from a Roxanne Perez pop rocks on Io Sky that Rhea Ripley just couldn't make to break up. So Io Sky had to kick out at 2.9999. But ultimately, this led to a victory from Rio when Rhea Ripley got the riptide on Liv Morgan, as she usually does. Now, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions have to look forward to their next challenge, being Kiana James and Julia, as determined by last night's #1 Contenders Tag Team match. Next, match of the night by far, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura issued this challenge to AJ Styles ahead of his match with Gunther at the Royal Rumble, where if AJ Styles loses, he will retire. And Shinsuke Nakamura really just wanted to see if AJ Styles still has what it takes, if he's still phenomenal, can he still compete at that high level? And yes, AJ Styles can. While Shinsuke was getting most of the offense software, it looked like Shinsuke might take more of the match than AJ. AJ immediately starts targeting the leg, and it is curtains for Shinsuke from there. Multiple calf crushers, multiple dragon whips led to a point where Shinsuke attempted the Kinshasa and couldn't even stand. He buckles immediately, leading AJ Styles to hit a Kinshasa of his own for a very close near fall. The final third saw the typical ooh-ah sequence where Shinsuke Nakamura, despite being in the most pain, was still in the healer role, as this was more to see if AJ Styles can overcome the obstacles ahead of his match with Gunther, so the crowd definitely cheered AJ more. But this match ultimately did belong to AJ Styles after a Kinshasa counter turned into a couple of roll-up and submission attempts from both men, which ultimately had AJ Styles on the apron so he could hit the phenomenal forearm and the Styles Clash for the win. They had showed a tremendous show of respect after the match. I cannot wait to see AJ Styles versus Gunther. I personally hope AJ Styles does not retire this early into 2026. I still feel like he can go to at least SummerSlam. I don't know. I don't book the shows, but I honestly think he should stick around at least till then. And then in our main event, We have Randy Orton facing Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, and Trick Williams to determine the number one contender to Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship. Everyone played their roles here perfectly. Randy Orton playing the legend who could always get the job done. Damian Priest playing the heavy-hitting enforcer. Sami Zayn playing the hometown hero. And Trick Williams playing the dastardly rookie who could try to get a win any way he would find it or try to stop someone else from winning at the very least, which he did very well in multiple spots of the match where Damian Priest had the match won, but Trick pulled the referee out. Randy Orton hits an RKO on Sami Zayn. He throws Randy out and tries to get the pin on Sami himself just for Damian to break it up. Damian Priest hits another South of Heaven on Randy Orton just for Trick Williams to try to come and roll up Damian Priest, none of which prevailing. But based on the story that was being told last night and where we are for this match, we all knew that this match belonged to Sami Zayn, which it inevitably did after Sami Zayn hit Damian Priest with the haluva kick to get the 3 count. Now at the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre will defend his undisputed WWE Championship against Sami Zayn. Drew tried to get the drop on Sami Zayn after the match, but Sami chucked him over the top rope Royal Rumble style to stand tall with pyro and all the fans in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Saturday night's main event. Let me know what you thought of the show. If you want to go back and rewatch it, please be looking out for more episodes of the Nerdz Watching Wrasslin Podcast coming soon, including my Royal Rumble podcast review, which will be available the first week of February. Until then, I have been the Southern Wrestling Scholar, ZJ Pierce. Thank you for the time, and we'll see you again.